Howdy folks, Kirk and Jason here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. Can anybody look at this and see what material they applied here 10, 12 years ago? I'll show you something. It's coming off. It's an interior plaster. I'll give you a tip, guys. What is this interior plaster they used here? I'll tell you in case most won't know. It's Plaster of Paris. A lot of people think just because it says Plaster of Paris and we call stucco exterior plaster that you could use it. How do I know it is? Because I've seen it about 10 other times and I've actually put it on a piece of my mud board and let it sit for years to see. It does come off, guys. You're not supposed to wet Plaster of Paris. It's good for interiors like, say, cornices and things of that nature. But you can't use it outside because when it gets wet, this happens. Now, this is what, it comes off mighty easy, guys. And what I've done is we've scored this. We've taken a knife, I can get it out of my back pocket, and we scored it right here all the way down, all the way around the perimeter so that we don't jack up this door. Then we could either use a putty knife, a trowel, a 3-in-1 tool, whatever we want to use to get it off, or I'm going to turn this bulldog on and it'll come right off. Anyway, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take this off and then we're going to clean the wall, use some water and a wire brush. And this right here, this is a 2030 finish material. So after we clean this, we're going to put some Weldcrete on it. This stuff here, it's a bonding agent. Get rid of the dust because nothing adheres to dust, guys, except cobwebs. Even that, cobwebs have a hard time. So once we clean this up, we'll show you back how we apply this finish here and match this texture here. Piece of cake if you know how to do it. All right, guys, we are at the stage of putting the stucco on now. Now, what we've done is, I was thinking this was going to take us 10 minutes. It took us like an hour. And we use this machine to get all this off. Sometimes it adheres very well. So what we're going to do now, this is the La Habra finish coat material. And it's 2030 sand. It's a fine grit. So what I've got to do is, it'll only go about an 1/8 to 3/16 max. So you guys don't want to put it on too heavy. And then I'm going to feather it in. What's that mean? I'll show you. Okay, so this is just the base coat, guys. What's the base coat mean? Well, it's simply the coat before the texture. On this right here, base coat usually is this right here, the gray stuff. All right. And what I've got to do, guys, is I'm feathering in to his existing painted finish because when we're done, I've got to feather into this finish here, and it's nothing we can't handle, but I'll show you guys how we do it. But don't you guys try this. I'm kidding, guys. All right. A second ago I said this is an 1/8 to 3/16. See this big hole here? It won't fill it, guys. It will, but it will crack like an egg. So this is just a finish. What we're going to do here is something different for this big hole down here. That's another, that's another job for, say, rapid set, which we have on the truck. That's just a cement. All right. Again, the same thing here. I'm going to... The fellow here says, well, how do you know when you got it all off? If that machine won't take it off anymore, you got it all off. This is a common question. When do you stop using the tool and say, hey, I've got everything off that we're going to get off. Well, if that tool doesn't take it off, you can bet that's all that's going to come off. A couple things, guys. Right here, we got a huge hump. But if I were to break this hump out, I could destroy the paper and back. What's worse, having a hump which I'll feather out, meaning it won't be noticeable, or breaking the paper and back of this that waterproofs it? You always want to keep your waterproofing, guys. So, just right here, we got like a ½ inch difference. Anyway, I'm going to finish this last piece here. We're going to let this set a little while. Then I'm going to come back, feather it in like this. Feather it in, and then I'm going to do the texture. We'll show you that in a minute. Now what we're doing is the texture. In order to get really good at texturing, you have had to have some practice. I remember like 40 years ago, I asked my buddy Fred Smith, I said, Fred, we browned out a little audition. Can you help me texture it? He got there and it's like, whoa, I'm getting seasick. And I thought, all right, what's the joke? He said, your wall got so many waves in it that it's kind of like this right here. This has got a ½ inch difference, so I feathered it in. You won't know it. You could look sideways and you can't see it. But if you put a piece of trim on it, like a 2x4, you'll notice it. Anyway, what my buddy Fred was telling me is my wall had all kind of humps and dumps and you name it, it had it. That's why he was saying, man, I'm seasick. But here's what you do, guys. After you learn how to texture, you feather things in, no matter what it is. Like this is all pretty true and plumb, but just to make a point, what I would do is I'd take my mud here, I'd drop it here, smooth it out a little bit. I'm just going to take a little tiny bit, guys. You can spin it around, play with it. Just going to take a little tiny bit. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm looking at this texture, and I see they're kind of starting here, going up. They're right-handed, and not a problem. I, too, am right-handed, so I'm just feathering this thing, guys. Feathering it in. I'm letting the wall take this off. It looks like I'm doing magic. I'm not. I'm just letting the wall pull it off. Right here, I'll take a little bit off, hit about the door trim here, and kind of pull it upward. Because what I need to do is feather this new texture into the existing. And that existing has been painted how many times? Can anybody tell? Does anybody care? Quite a few times, guys. It's been painted probably 10, 15 times. So what I want to do after I get my texture on there, and you guys could, if you watch what we do, you can try to duplicate it, or you can do the right thing and just hire us and we'll do it. Okay, now that's on there. Doesn't match. It's too heavy. This has been painted about 25 times. So you take your trowel now and you just go over a little bit, guys. Smooth it down just a hair. Just a hair. Otherwise, when it's painted, it's going to be as big as an eyesore as I'm trying to fix. Or I did fix. Jay and I are experts. This is what we do for a living, guys. So, anyway, there it is. That's same texture as what they started off with. And now when this is painted, it'll blend in right here really well. And the key to painting or blending in new finishes, guys, prime this first and then paint it, then prime the whole house and paint it. Anyway, my name is Kirk. Jason on the camera for my buddy Lou. Not my brother Lou, but my buddy. We'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, folks, we want to thank you for watching how we do things in the stucco and plastering world. We really enjoy your questions and comments, so if there's anything you want to learn about that we can show you, please let us know in the comments. And as always, from the entire Giordano family,
we'll see you on the next one.